So, $16 trillion is our national debt. $16 trillion is also the amount of money that the government has spent under the current president. $10 trillion of this has been through taxes, and $6 trillion of it is deficit spending. It's borrowed, it's begged, it's stolen, and it's printed. But what is $16 trillion? If I were to count to $16 trillion, it would take a long time. If I were to count to 1 million, let's say I count $1 every second. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and so on and so forth. You get the point. It would take me about 11 days to get to 1 million. If I want to count to 1 billion, that's going to take a little bit longer. That's going to take 1,011-day periods, and that is 32 years. To get to 1 trillion, it's going to take 32,000 years. That's the 1 trillion. To get to 16 trillion is going to take 500,000 years to count. That's $1 every second if I don't take a break. So if I were to arrive at $16 trillion having started counting, I would have had to have started 500,000 years ago. And I don't know what was going on 500,000 years ago, but a caveman was doing it. This is more money than has ever been spent in the history of the universe, and it wasn't spent on you because you're no better off. So what's the solution? Tax the rich. And many of you think this is a good idea because you're largely unaffected by this. If you're part of the bottom 47% of earners in this country, you don't pay any tax. Or do you? What if the president were taxing you all along? Would you feel the same way? Well, first of all, what is tax? However you define it, however you classify it, the bottom line is the same. The government passes something, they enact something, they make a rule, and you take money out of your pocket. And this arrives in a number of different ways. We have income tax, we have excise taxes, we have state sales tax we're all familiar with, and it's essentially extra money that comes out of your pocket. You don't really get anything for it, it just goes away. So what happens when you print money by the hundreds of billions of dollars? Well, I watched this movie Rain Man recently, and if you're not familiar with the movie, Dustin Hoffman is the star of the movie, and he plays the character named Raymond, who's called Rain Man. He's autistic, and the other character in the movie is played by Tom Cruise, who is Raymond's brother, who is always trying to accommodate his brother because he doesn't do well with adversity. So in this one particular scene, it's fish stick day. And so the Rain Man is freaking out because he doesn't have fish sticks. So his brother, played by Tom Cruise, runs out and he finds fish sticks for his brother, and he comes back and he presents a plate of 4 fish sticks to his brother. Now you think everything's fine because he got his fish sticks, but he starts freaking out again because he's used to 8 fish sticks, or wherever he came from they used to give him 8 fish sticks. So the clever Tom Cruise reaches down and he cuts the fish sticks in half, and Rain Man looks down and he sees 8 pieces, and he's somehow satisfied with this. Well, this is what happens when you print money by the hundreds of billions of dollars and pump it into the economy. The economy doesn't get any bigger, just the supply of money floating around does. So let's just say that you have $50, or let's say you have $50 worth of food stamps, and these are represented by 4 fish sticks. Well, four years ago, you had 4 fish sticks. 4 years later, today, you still have 4 fish sticks, but they've been cut in half by Tom Cruise there. Actually, by the president. So your fish sticks are smaller than they used to be. But you're no less hungry. Oh, and by the way, he's going to continue to print money on a regular basis. Every month, he's going to print hundreds of billions of dollars. So your little fish sticks are going to get smaller. And you're no less hungry. So the bottom line is your money, and however you got it, if you earned it, if you stole it, or if you got it through food stamps or cash assistance for that matter, and I'm not judging you if you do, but when it gets into your pocket, it's your money, and when you go to use it, you get less for it. This is just a very simplified explanation of what inflation is. And inflation happens, and we have to live with it, but it's not always artificially produced, and that's exactly what our president has been doing. And he's been artificially producing inflation. Therefore, cutting your food stamps or your fish sticks in half, and soon to be cut in half again. Now, anybody who goes to the grocery store knows this. 4 years ago, the amount of food that you got for, say, your $50 was probably twice what it is today. And anybody who goes to a gas pump really knows this well. You get less than half of the gasoline you did for your money. And this is only due to government energy policy and this artificially produced inflation. So folks, you've been being taxed all along, and if you're in the bottom percentage of earners in this country, well, you're hardest hit by this. Many people have no disposable income, and most of their, a good portion of their income go to buy these two things, their food and fuel. If you look at the government's inflation report, it will tell you that there's no inflation, but there's a very simple reason for that. The government model doesn't include two things, and those are food and fuel. So why would the president do this to you? Well, because he figures you're going to vote for him anyways. So if you do vote for him, I hope you like being hungry. Or I hope you're a Rain Man.